Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we are going to be taking a look at Eden Zero Volume 18 from Hiro Mashima, which is the continuation of the Shura arc. Although I think the canon name is called the Nero 66 arc because, well, that's the planet they're on, but I'm going to call it the Shura arc because he's the big villain of this storyline. But anyway, so much crazy stuff has gone down since this whole storyline started. There's all these different factions aligning and fighting each other. We have Shura, who wants to claim the All-Link to destroy all the robots. We have Ziggy, who wants to claim the All-Link and control all the robots and wreak havoc across the cosmos. And then we have Shiki with the Eden Zero, who wants to put a stop to that. And at this point, the Orashion Seis Interstellar with Eraser, Justice, and then you'll see later on Jaguar have joined the fight, sort of allying with Shiki and the Eden Zero to stop Shura and Ziggy. And the whole group has been separated. We actually saw Homura's overdrive form for the first time in her fight against Mirani. We left off last time with Weiss going up against Nase, and they had like a mech battle, which is pretty awesome. And then Rebecca was captured by Lyra, and she was unconscious, and it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger where it was up to your imagination whether or not it was Rebecca using the cat leaper to go into the future, or was just like a premonition. I think it was a premonition, but Mashima's already introduced time travel shenanigans, so it could be that her cat leaper was activated. And again, a great cover here with my girl Rebecca in the bunny suit. I mean, look at this, man. Look how sexy she is. And you see an older version of Shiki and Noah, because that's from either the premonition or going into the future. There's Homer with her overdrive. Weiss, spoilers of his overdrive, which you see in a few chapters here, and then Clean and Jin. And their great moment. So let's get right to it. Great cover there with Rebecca and Shiki. And this was the, dream or going into the future, where Rebecca found that, she doesn't have her legs anymore, and her cat leaper ability is activated by using her legs. And if she has robotic legs, she can't use her ether gear. So Shiki is consoling her, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And Shiki says things that are kind of cryptic. When it had everyone on the Eden dead, like it's all cryptic, and she can't make out all the words. And then she regains consciousness, wakes up, or goes back in time, and she goes, "What am I wearing?" And holy crap, dude, we get some great stuff going on here. Her fight against Lyra, woo, it's awesome. She's, you see how Rebecca dresses normally. Why is she surprised that she's in a bunny suit? And she's thinking like, oh, Shiki's kind of hot all grown up, and starts blushing. And then the cameras flash on, and we see Lyra, one of the Ocean Six, who is running a game show, broadcasting it live. And, it's just, look at Rebecca's face, like, what? Am I my challenge? And, some great shots there. And they're playing a game called Lost Card, which they explain the rules in a bit, but basically if you get a higher number card, you win. If you get a lower number card, you lose. And each time a person loses, they lose an article of clothing until they have nothing on. And once they lose all their clothes, they lose body parts. And that fits in line with Rebecca losing her legs. So it cuts back to Nase and Weiss now in the Arsenal. I think it's called the Arsenal Mark II now. It's an upgraded version of the one we've seen prior in like a mech battle. And Weiss's ether gear ability is to manipulate machines. It's called Machina Maker. So I love how Eden Zero takes so many different genres and blends it all together. Like, it's at heart, it's just a shonen series, a shonen battle series with power scaling and stuff. But you have mechs, you have outer space shenanigans, you have the fan service, you got it all. So I love that Mashima takes celebrities. He mentioned in an afterword a while ago, in one of the volumes when they had Oasis fighting against the spaceships, that it's very difficult to draw outer space battles, which I can imagine it is, especially because Mashima is more used to, drawing his fantasy adventure series like Rave Master and Fairy Tail. But it cracks open, and, Weiss uses his Machina Maker and unlocks Overdrive. You see as he goes into the ground using all the machines, his skin changes, and that's his overdrive form. And he says, "Is this overdrive?" So overdrive, if we want to compare it to the most cliche thing, it's pretty much Super Saiyan of this series. Of course, Shiki, the main protagonist, was the first to use it, then Homura, and now Weiss. And I'm sure Rebecca at some point. Hint, hint. So Nase's been defeated, and he's like sending his group chat like, oh, they can use overdrive, be careful, guys. And as he sends it, like, Lyra responds, oh, TTYL, my show is starting, you have to listen to me. And then Callum says this weird emoji, and Nase's like, what does that emoji even mean? So they start fighting, and like Rebecca's still trying to cover herself up. What are you doing, girl? Just embrace it and get ready for the battle. And Lyra tells the rules. If you lose a round, you gotta take it all off. And if you don't, there's something around her neck right there. If she doesn't abide by the rules, it'll go bang, and she'll blow up the bomb and kill Rebecca. But then Rebecca says, I have Cat Leaper, so I can cheat and go back in time, but I can only do it twice, so I better make the right decision. And we get this great pose. All right, then, I accept your challenge. And a little shot from behind. And then you see one eye's missing with Lyra. And the stipulation of the rules, if everything's off, you're going to lose a body part. And then that's when Rebecca says, oh shit, I had that premonition where I lost my legs. Part of my body. And again, these shots, man. These angles, I tell you. So Shiki jumps in and is like, all right, Rebecca, we gotta go. Let's go, shut up and come on with me. And, she says the bomb and is about to go off. And Rebecca, stay away, Shiki, I can fight her on my own. I gotta do this by myself. And then Shiki gets attacked by Callum, who I think is supposedly the strongest of the Ocean Six. So that is Shiki's battle against Callum, which he looks like a badass right there, if his ether gear flowing already. And then Rebecca against Rebecca against Lyra, and Shiki versus Callum. So back in outer space here, we have Justice communicating with Eraser, and they're destroying all the ships in outer space to make a path for Jaguar to make his way to the temple and confront Poseidon Nero. So now, Homura defeated Mirani last time, and here's someone behind her. And it turns out it is Creed, who is a member of the Oration Seis Interstellar, working with Justice. And he sort of has a crush on Homura, and she does as well. Like, she's making that face. But her thing is she just blurts things out that she shouldn't say. And again, holy crap, these angles, man. The battle toward Homura. So Creed says, why don't we propose an alliance? And she remembers the last time they met where he trapped her in this cage. And he's like, I don't trust you. Well, Nero's dangerous, and we got to work together. I could never lie to someone as beautiful as you. And he sort of confesses himself, and they make these faces. So a cute little scene there for all the shippers, I guess. So then the robots here are separated, and Pino and Happy are like, what do we do? And then Moscow, he puts on this cartoon, and they're like, there's no time to be watching that. Moscow, I'll change the channel then. And luckily he changes the channel to see Rebecca and Lyra's match, and they make a funny face there, and they gotta go. So here's the rules of the game. They put 5 cards face down, and they spin the table, they gotta pick a card, and you see Rebecca gets a 3, Lyra gets a 2, Rebecca wins, and that's how the game goes. So they do the cards. What Rebecca does is she lies them all down, 5 like that. They spin it, and she sees that Lyra has laid the cards like that, right? 4 there and 1 there. And Rebecca's thinking like, she wants me to pick this one. Which one should I pick? And they're playing mind games here. Rebecca's like, what the hell do I do? So of course she draws it, gets a 1. Lyra gets a 5, she wins. And what's the first thing that disappears? Let's see. I forget. Oh, her arm straps. That's the first thing that goes. So, gotta be careful there. She loses it again, loses her leggings. Rebecca finally gets a 4 too, so they're going back and forth. There we go. See, I mean, this is great. It's the fan service battle. I've been waiting for this my whole life. And then Rebecca loses the bunny ears. Some fun back and forth. But what happens is Rebecca does Cat Leaper for the first time. She mentioned she can only do it twice. She does it the first time, gets her bunny ears back. And because what happened, right? She figures out which card is which, and she goes back, and it's still the same thing. She still draws a 1, and she still draws a 5. So she's like, how the hell did that happen? Because I just saw what happened, and I made sure she wouldn't draw a 5. So she's obviously cheating. And she says, I've played this game over 100 times, only lost once. And the one thing she lost was her left eye. You can see that one eye is different. And we get this. This is a color page. I can only imagine. Here's some of the chibi artwork. And obviously she's cheating and starts sweating because, you know, she knows what the possible future is if she does lose. So loses her her leotard now. So now Rebecca's got nothing. But she does cat leap her yet again to preserve her dignity. And in doing so, she falls to the ground because it takes a lot out of her using her ether gear power. She still hasn't mastered it like all the others have. So she declares that Lyra is cheating, and Lyra says, no, I'm not cheating, there's no way. And lays the cards similar to how Lyra did at the start, right? And then Lyra draws the 5, and Rebecca says, you couldn't have possibly drawn the 5 because I have it right here. And she pulls it out of her cleavage. She pulls out the 5 and is like, what? How could this be? And the way she made the cards look like that, she ripped the 1 in half to make it look like there was the 5 on the table, but there's really only 4, and she had the 5, and that's when we learn that Lyra has the ability to change all the cards to whatever number she chooses. So she was cheating from the start. And now they start fighting, and then it cuts back over here to Shiki battling Callum, and their fight, you know, intersects with them again. And as the fight continues, we see, go on, Shiki! And it's Jin, along with Clean, who appear to the battle to save Rebecca and Shiki to face off against Callum and Lyra. So we get the 2 Rutherford brother and sister. So here's a sweet moment. This reminds me of like Natsu pulling Lucy everywhere. Come on, Rebecca, let's go! And Callum's making a face at Jin because it turns out the 2 of them do have a backstory. And as they're flying away using Shiki's gravity ether gear, they're getting gunned down by these robots. And then Happy transforms into the Happy Blasters, into like a Happy Assault Rifle. Happy Blaster, Assault Rifle mode! This is so cool, man. I'd love to see this in the anime when it finally gets done. As Shiki's holding her using the gravity, spinning her around while she's shooting all these robots. That looks so cool, dude. So everyone's trying to figure out where everyone is. Again, they're all separated. And Homer says, stop following me, you creep. But Creed is following her anyway, because they want to form an alliance. And they start battling, and of course, Jin uses Sky Mech Ninjutsu, and Clean uses Wind Ether Gear. But it turns out that Callum does the same thing. He has the Sky Mech Ninjutsu as well. And the Rutherford brother and sister are not faring so well, and we get a flashback of the Sky Mech Dojo, and that's young Callum and a young Jin who taught him way back when. And he starts mocking him how, you know, Jin is a cyborg, but it wasn't by his own doing. Of course, Dr. Mueller was the one who experimented on him and cut off his arms and all that shit way back when. And Callum is beating the crap out of him and uses his Empire Ether. My imperial technique for altering my opponent's conditions. Empire Ether. My carburetor will turn you to mist. And Jin is like turning to dust there. So they're not doing too good. But it does a flashback here to Laguna because he's from the Aoi Cosmos. And he tells them that they use ether gear that changes their opponent's condition. So if you can will yourself back to normal, similar to how his... If you cry, he turns you into water, into tears. And if you can, you know, will yourself back to it, he can fight. And that's exactly what Jin does. He has an internal struggle here where he thinks back to his past. Who exactly am I? And it shows a younger, a cuter version of him with Clean, how he was taken by Dr. Miller and, you know, had his arms chopped off. This was a great, I think this was from like volume 13 or 14. Really crazy scene with Clean's backstory. And then as they've been on the Eden Zero, they've regained their humanity. And he remembers his sister, all the fun she's had at the beach and training and with Moscow, and how she has a smile on her face now. She can finally smile. And who am I? I don't really know. But my once dark dead-end future is now wide open. Now I can be whatever I want. Whoever I want. And you see, he's unlocking his overdrive as well. That is who I am! Windstorm, Palm Strike, Fog Razor! And again, it cuts back to how Jin was training with Callum and how he wanted to surpass him. And now with Shiki, how they're friends and he finally has his humanity back. And he's doing his Ether Gear transformation and he sees, oh, that's what Nase was talking about. They could really use overdrive. And same thing with Clean. She's starting to do it as well. Clean and I have made up our minds to protect our home. The winds of Rutherford will carry our ship forward. Wind God, sky-rending slash, and variable cyclone. And the two of them have their transformations. They look so cool, dude. It shows like a whole page of them. We will be the winds of Edens. Look at this, dude. Look at, especially Jin. I mean, look at the mask he's got on, the cape and everything, and even Clean with her new outfit. I love it, dude. Masha's always had some great designs. And they defeated Callum and Lyra. The crowd is cheering. Look at this, dude. The wind has risen. Now you just have to let it take you forward, Shiki. And of course, Shiki and all of them are running to find Shura to rescue Wish, because Shura had attacked the Eden Zero and kidnapped Witch and defeated Sister and Hermit. I'm getting everyone's names confused because there's so many freaking characters. But it shows Ijuna here, who's watching everything, saying how pathetic they are. We have Xiao Mei, who gives a recap of the story so far, which has happened at certain points. And then it shows the temple, which is the headquarters of Poseidon Nero, who is the father of Shura. And then Fabiano, who's, I guess, the last remaining member of the Ocean Six. And this great big explosion, and we see Colonel Jaguar, member of the Oracion 6 Interstellar, and he uses his ether gear to go into overdrive and turn into a freaking jaguar. That's where he got his name from. And he starts eating everybody, just wreaking havoc. Destroys everyone, including Fabiano. Like you see, he tries to use his ether gear as well. He gets destroyed, pummeled into the ground, and wrecked. And then Nero shows up, and he says, "You're not my only guest. You must have patience. Who's your other guest?" And you see the footsteps. And the Demon King Ziggy shows up. Look at this, dude. Look at this whole double-page spread going on. We got Ziggy, my old friend. I have no friends. Then I assume you are my enemy. Holy shit, dude. Look at these powerhouses. We just saw how powerful Jaguar is. This is Shura's father, and we've seen how powerful Ziggy is. So we got all of them going at each other. And then we got Shura, who's been torturing Wish. We saw this in the last volume, how he just kept throwing knives at her. And you see she's all beaten up, bleeding all over the place. Well, it's not really blood because she's an android, but you get the idea. She still feels pain. And he's just laughing, saying, like, I grow tired of this. We're going to put you out of your misery soon. And you see, as he's torturing her, he has these things set up, presumably keeping her alive as well. And he's like, it's all going according to plan, because he sees that, you know, Temple is being attacked, and he wants his father to die so he can control everything. And Witch says, but he's your family. Don't talk to me about family, robot. You know, I'm getting tired of playing with you. So we got Goodwin back over here with, what's this guy's name? Ibakari or something like that. He has a goofy expression where he goes, I think so, which kind of means deso in the rough translation. We have Sister and Hermit taking up arms, going to rescue their friend, because they say, we can't let Witch die because we already lost one. Valkyrie died long ago, of course. And then Couchbell, I don't know why this woman's still even on the ship. I guess she has nowhere else to go. And she's like, no, you gotta stay. You gotta trust Shiki. He'll save the day. It's like, will he though? We need to get all the manpower we can. And all of a sudden the string appears and wraps up Shiki and Rebecca. And they grab hands. And Moscow, Moscow. And they start getting like all red and almost ready to make out. Look at this scene, rough for all you Sheikah shippers. And Happy breaks the string, but what that does is it turns all their love into this seething hatred, and they start punching each other. And then we see Ajuna, who is another sexy female protagonist from Mashima, and she says this is called the ether gear known as Red Destiny, and once it is severed, they're full of seething hatred for each other, and they will stop at nothing to kill them. So that was her plan, to make them love each other, and then for someone to break the thread, and now they're going to kill each other. And Mosco's trying his best to stop him, but he can't do anything. So we get this moment where Pino says, "There's tears." And then as they're attacking with the tears, Laguna shows up and with his ether gear turns him into water, puts him away, and tells Pino and Happy to hang on to it, let him out soon after the battle's over. And he's going up against Ijuna. And he remembers, he sees her face, and she is the princess of Oasis, who was taken long ago and now been corrupted to work with Shura. And, you know, she says how the former princess that you knew is dead. I'm an imperial soldier, and you know nothing. So we get a heart-to-heart here because, of course, Laguna had feelings for Ijuna long ago, and now she's been corrupted here after her father died. And sort of has Stockholm Syndrome for Shura. So we get a cool battle between the two of them. And my goodness, again with these angles, man, my goodness. So Laguna got his ass kicked. And it shows like a flashback here of Ijuna, who was captured by Shura and tortured, similar to what he's doing to Witch right now. And she has the red string of destiny with him. And, you know, she came to pity him because Shura was never loved by anyone, nor has he loved anyone. And she felt pity for him and joined his side, to which Laguna doesn't understand, because it's like he's just an evil, evil man. But Ijuna says, well, I guess deep down there is something good, but I don't see it. So, well, what happens is, you know, time passes, and they let Rebecca and Shiki out of the water, and they're back to normal. And as they open the door, they see Shura and a broken and seemingly dead Witch lying on the ground. It kind of sucks because of the way this is printed. So I guess look online to see a proper image of this. But you still get the impact. I mean, part of her you know, body is missing right there. And she's got her fluids and her cords everywhere. And Shura, you took too long, Shiki. And just the faces on everybody. I was playing with your toy and broke it. And to be continued with Shiki just enraged. So this was an excellent volume. I've mentioned in the past how I've done these reviews for, I want to say, the first 11 or 12 volumes, which I reviewed last year. That was all at once and blind reviews. But as the series is still ongoing, like it's every 2 months we get a new volume in North America, I have gone ahead and read the individual chapters, you know, because I want to know what happens. And that's been for some time now, so I do know what happens. These aren't necessarily blind reviews anymore. And wow, man, I think either the next volume or volume 20 is the end of this arc, and it's just terrific. Mashima continues to be my favorite mangaka. I love the characters. I love all the different themes it takes. Like you see how in this one volume, it takes funny moments, it takes really intense, dramatic moments, really sad moments, and of course the fan servicey moments and the hype moments. Like the hypest moment for me probably was the moment with this right here, with Jin and Clean doing their overdrives, and just their form. Look at this. Look how awesome they look. And then of course I mean I love Rebecca. Look at that right there, and you know. Look at that. So anyway, and then of course at the end with the moment with this right here with Shura and Witch. And then it's kind of funny because Masha wants to talk about how serious this is, but he in the afterward he mentions how, you know, his fans always say bunny girls appear quite frequently, and Masha says, "What can I say? I love bunny girls," and here we have another bunny girl. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thought in the comments down below. This came out I think at the last week of September. So I do believe volume 19 is coming out in November, every 2 months. But in Japan, what chapter is this anyway? This is chapter 158. In Japan, they're at like chapter 210 now, so they're pretty far ahead, and the story just, whew, it's awesome. I can't recommend it enough. So thanks, guys. Let me know your thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.